You got the foolish cats. Their whole entire life, that's what they trying to do. They don't have a job. They're not trying to apply for a job. The whole entire life, they want to sell dope. They want to sell trees their whole life. I'm going to tell you something. That type of lifestyle brings nothing but, first and foremost, murders, negativity, trouble. I mean, that type of lifestyle, man, they got trouble written all over it. I'm going to be real with you. That type of lifestyle, it got trouble written all over it. You feel what I'm saying? Because look at the stuff that they involved themselves in. Nine times out of ten, guys that actually indulge in, drug dealing, selling drugs, right? Selling weight, as they say, or pushing weight. 9 times out of ten, they end up becoming. They first and foremost they start smoking trees, and you know what I mean. There used to be an old saying back in the day: "Don't get high off your own supply." Well, that rule pretty much is out the window because most of the guys that actually sell trees, they actually smoke it. They getting high off their own supply. So that's where it starts. It starts from there. And now guess what? You actually smoking your own stuff. And guess what? Because you actually smoking your own stuff all the time, what happens is you're getting less profits. You're getting less profits. And so as a result, what happens? What's the next stage? I don't want to sell trees no more. Why? Oh, because, I ain't making enough money. And so he want to move to something else. He want to move to a drug that actually brings more income. Well, if I can say that, that brings more money to him, right? Because according to him, it makes sense. I'm going to make more money selling crack because since I don't smoke that, I smoke weed, then there's more money for me. But here's the trick. Here's the trap. All it takes is one mistake. How many guys that actually sell crack actually became crack addicts? You smoking marijuana one day, you blowing trees, you smoking trees, right? And because actually you're dealing crack all day, some of that residue is going to get on your hands. Some of those particles is going to eventually get on your hands, right? And when you breaking down that weed and you put in you split the swisher, right? What happens is when you actually breaking down that weed to put it inside of the Philly, the particles of the crack is actually going in along with the marijuana, the trees. They call it 51s, right? So next thing you know, you wondering why, like, man, like, I'm not supposed to be this high, right? And next thing you know, you wondering why you got this, you wonder why you have this urge, not urge, but this, you have a taste for smoking crack. And guess what? There's easy access because you the one who's doing it. Now you set your own self up. You set your own self up. You set yourself up. You ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. You have set yourself up. You have set yourself up. Now you a drug addict. Now you a crack addict because you indulge in something for one that your parents told you not to do. I think the parents are probably the most wisest people in the world, man, because they've been through stuff already and they just pretty much reiterate and telling us not to do it. But the thing is, because we so young and we haven't seen life, we thinking that they being strict, but in reality they putting us up on game. They dropping knowledge on us, right? But we can't understand that type of knowledge. So what happens is we have to go through the same thing first. We have to go through the same exact thing, and then we come back and we say, "Oh my, you know what? I understand now." And so she look at you, she like, "Yeah, I told you. I told you." Then I tell you. Then I tell you. If you had listened to me before, you would have never went through this stuff. So me personally, myself, man, a lot of the guys, I went to school with, I grew up with, whatever, and no disrespect to none of them. Guys I went to school with here in Detroit, they're living that type of lifestyle. Man, hey, how y'all doing, fellas? Man, you all right? Have a good one. That's it. That's it. Ain't no, I mean, what benefit do I have being around those type of people? So that's, or I'm trying to educate them. So that's pretty much it. This is part 3 of our Watch Your Company. Thank you guys for listening. Kicking Knowledge.